Hey, this is Rahul with RWR.com, and this is the month of February, and like I promised, every month we'll be doing one such budget action camera. So this month I'll be showcasing the Melife i3 Inspiration. I was sent this camera by Melife, the brand itself, and we are one of the first ones to receive this camera as a review sample in the entire world. I know the other reviews have come out, but I've been testing this camera very thoroughly over the last month. That's why I didn't do the review earlier. Now I've taken it to a few shoots. I've done night mode testing. I've taken it to my work. A lot of other testings like indoor, outdoors. And finally, I am ready to give you my full verdict on the Melife action camera. We will do this a pretty simple way. We'll not go over like we do it in our other reviews. I'm trying a new approach, so do let me know if you like it. Anyways, I think I should be focusing on the camera at hand, which is the Melife i3. If you look at the box, it does say that it has 4K capabilities, but that's an interpolated 4K. Practically, it's a 2K camera, and the great thing is, even at $100 or 7,000 rupee price point, which is very attractive, it packs in a screen at the back, which I really love. If you're looking at the camera, nice build quality, matte rubberized plastic all over, which is a very grippy surface. So if you're holding this camera in your hand, you will feel that you're holding a premium product. The screen on the back is not a touch screen. You have to operate it by 3 buttons. This button operation takes a little bit of getting used to, but if you own this camera, it will take a while. Eventually you'll get used to it. Does have Wi-Fi, and it has one very unique accessory, which is the smart remote. This is something I've not seen included in other cameras in the default packaging. Of course, other cameras you can buy this separately, but this one comes in package, which is a very nice touch. So I'll be telling you what I like about this camera, and then I'll be telling you what I don't like about this camera. A lot of footage samples which are playing on screen all the time while I walk you through this. It has gyro stabilization. Amazing thing, because it really stabilizes and it works just like the SG6 Legend stabilization. It's all good here. Second thing, at $100 price point, you're getting an internal screen, not a touch screen, but still you can frame your shots and you can see what you're shooting. Easy to navigate through all the menus. This is something you'd really love as a beginner into the action camera world. The third thing is audio quality. I wasn't expecting this out of this camera, but amazing audio quality, much more comparable to the GoPro. When I talk about any other action camera, unlike even my Xiaomi E2 4K, the audio quality is a little tinny and has a lot of hissing noise, which is due to a preamp. They have built a better preamp, so if you're using this as a standard vlogging camera, it's going to be good. Here, it should also tell you a little bit about the stabilization and everything. Now, looking right directly into the camera, and as you can see, this is the night mode testing, this is the stabilization testing. This is a brand which has tried to do good in the packaging and the accessories. Let's take a look at what's inside the box. We've got a portable frame, which is the frame mount, a wrist remote control, which I've already shown you, the waterproof casing, which is a must for any action camera, a micro USB cable, which is for charging, quick release mount, bicycle handlebar mount, a couple of flat and curved mounts with adhesive 3M tape, and you've got screw bolts, 2 screw bolts, got a spanner and a knuckle, and even a tripod adapter. The problem is they have missed the long arm, and the short arm is there, but the long arm isn't there. So without the long arm, it becomes difficult to mount it to helmet, or a lot of mounts require the long arm. So this is something very cheap, and they should have included it, considering the fact that they've already included an expensive wrist remote control system and other touches like bicycle handlebar mounts, which other cameras are not giving. Now I'm sure that Melife listens to these reviews, so I'm giving the brand a feedback. Just include a long arm along with all of your other useful packages. There's another thing that did bother me about this camera, that is taking off the battery or accessing the USB port, mini USB port from the side. It is very difficult. Other cameras I can just ply it out with my nails, but here it's It's really hard, but it's doable, but it's really hard. I guess after using it for a while, it'll get used to it. Specifically on the battery, every camera that I've used in my life has a latch, easy to take off. Here you have to again put your nails inside and ply it out. Does not work for me. They should really look into this part of the design. I said I'd talk about the positives first. So I've already talked about the audio quality of the camera, the gyro stabilization, the good build quality, and the nice accessories which is provided with the camera. There's one more positive thing, that's the battery life. If you turn the Wi-Fi off and shoot at 1080p 60 fps, you get 1.5 hours of battery life. Out of the 1000 milliamp hour battery, this is an amazing thing. These are the things that is really working well for the camera. It's a 2K camera, it's got a Sony IMX sensor with a Novatec chipset based processor, which looks spec wise really good. On paper, the camera looks great, right? It's got nice accessories, nice audio quality, nice build quality, an inbuilt screen, and altogether a price point of only 7,000 rupees or $100. So when you ask me if this camera has any negatives or downsides, I have to be honest with you and tell you the true story. I took this camera out for shoots, and yes, the clarity and sharpness is pretty good. Even in the normal sharpness settings, the sharpness was very usable for me, and you can boost that in post, or you can go into the menu and there is an option to have a higher, stronger sharpness. There is the option to customize a little bit of image quality like white balance and all that, but there is one issue with this camera which I was facing. The color reproduction or the dynamic range isn't all that good, which is something I really look forward to in cameras. I understand this is a $100 action camera, but as it's customary, I always do a comparison with my flagship, the Hero 4 Black. Now, when I'm comparing it with the Hero 4 Black, I took it to a shoot, and that is a very good way because I use action cameras every day in my shoots. So it's a very good way for me to understand how the camera is performing when I actually take it out to a shoot and just shoot with it instead of doing some dedicated test. I think this works with me because most of you users out there will be taking these cameras out and you'll be using them in real life. So that is the way I test, just so that you know. And I took it out, and there was two major problems that I discovered while I was shooting. The color reproduction isn't natural. There was some sort of a greenish tint to the image, and I had to do some post-production on it, and after that I had to correct it. If you're not very much accustomed to video editing, color correction and all that, this will be tough for you. As this camera is targeted towards the consumer, I think this will be a slight bit of a problem. It's not that you'd notice it in a big way, but for me, because I have other cameras which are shooting high quality video, when I compare these two up, I really feel that there could be a little bit more. Again, at $100, I'm probably asking for a bit too much, but I have compared other cameras like the Firefly 6S, which had a nice color reproduction, so I'll go out there and call them for that. The second thing I found was that there's a little bit of overexposure when the subject is facing the sun. Now this camera does have adjustability, but on an action camera we leave it on everything on auto, because while I'm riding I won't have the time to adjust the camera. On a mirrorless camera like which I'm using, these things can be fixed because we have so many settings and we are playing around with it. On an action camera you want everything to be automatically good, and here I found that there was a little bit of overexposure. If you know anything about video shooting or editing, you might know that overexposed shots are difficult to fix, underexposed shots are relatively easier to fix. So there was a few cases where the camera was overexposing the shot, so that was a little bit of a problem for me. That's it. For $100, I wasn't expecting too much. On screen I've listed all the positives and negatives right now, so you can see and make your purchase decision. All the links for purchase are in the video description below, so just look down below and you will find all the links that you need to purchase this camera if you're interested. I think for $100, I have to give a verdict before concluding the video. For $100, this is a reasonably good cam, but yes, that color correction thing was something that I was really worried about. And yes, a lot of you guys ask me if this supports external mic or not. It doesn't support external mic, so that's another bummer for all of you who want to do external mic with moto vlogging and stuff. So it doesn't fit into that. This camera is more targeted towards trekking, hiking, bicycle, and a more lifestyle action camera, and I think there it does pretty well. I'm expecting them to do a firmware upgrade because this has a nice Sony sensor and an Overtech chipset based processor. So if they do a firmware upgrade, I'm sure they can fix out the color correction problem and the overexposure problem, because these are basically firmware problems and not hardware problems, as I understand. And yes, this does have Wi-Fi, and this is automatically paired. It's paired right from the factory. There is an Android and an iOS app. Just search for Melife i3 app on Play Store or App Store, depending upon which operating system you're using, and you'd find the app. Personally, I'm not an app sort of a guy. I like using it right out of the screen. I can operate it pretty easily. If you want to purchase this camera, the links are down in the description, and if you want to look at some other cameras before making that purchase decision, on the top right and the top left corner of your screen you'll have 2 other video suggestions for other action cameras that I've reviewed. Do check them out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. This is Rahul. Goodbye.